Welcome back to Families in Action right here on AM 1220 KHTS, your hometown station. And now back to your host, the host with the most. Here's Cary Quashen.
Good. I'm glad. Every time you do that, I get like speechless for a second, but that's just great. So here's the deal, and I want your granddaughter to listen to this one. How old are you?
I'm almost 11.
And you're almost 11. What's your name so everybody knows again?
I'm Amanda.
Cool. Hey, I'm glad you're here today. So I'm gonna use you. I'm gonna play with you a minute. Can I do that?
Sure.
Okay. So here's the deal. When we go out and we do assemblies, and we do a lot of assemblies. We do assemblies with a lot of 11 and 10 and 9 and 8-year-olds, right? And when we're done, we actually tone our speeches down because it's not drugs really right now. It's more peer pressure and that kind of stuff. And when we're done with that, we then ask, there's always a kid or two crying. And we say, what's wrong? And it's always the same thing. Is my parents going to get sick? Why are you asking that? Because they smoke. So here's the scary part is I'd say at least 80% of all drug addicts, the first contract they break is what? They smoke a cigarette. And then it goes on and on from there. But there's only two reasons why somebody would light up a cigarette today. Number one, peer pressure, the cool kids over there. Oh, it looks good, right? So these kids run over there and they say, hey, I want to hang out. Somebody says, you want one of these? And most kids say, no, because they promised themselves when they were a kid they weren't going to do that. Heck, it says it on the box. It says, warning, the Surgeon General has determined that smoking causes, doesn't say might, lung cancer, emphysema. My mother passed away about 4 years ago. And I was with her at the doctor's office. And she said to the doctor, she said, Doc, how did I get this? She had terminal cancer. And he looked at her and he said, Esther, it says it on the box. What an intense moment that was, because it says it on the box. So number one is a peer pressure deal. And number two, it's a learned behavior from home. You following me? So here's what happens. We hang out and eventually everybody's smoking around us. And somebody says, want one? You go, oh, what the heck? And you take your first hit. That means you broke a contract, right? So here's how most people clean that up. It's only a cigarette. I won't smoke pot. And they mean it. But they're still hanging out with all these cool people. And it's just a matter of time, especially with how lax everything is today about pot, and how little parents spend talking to their kids about it. So after 4 or 5 times, you get desensitized. You get curious, and you go, oh, what the heck, and you take a hit. Now, I'm not going to say that every pot smoker is going to become a heroin addict. But I am going to say almost every heroin addict I ever met started with pot and cigarettes. So that's kind of one of those kinds of things. So here's what they do. You want to hit? Oh, no. Want to hit? It's natural. It's only marijuana. Oh, what the heck? And they take their first hit. What'd they do, Amanda? They broke their what?
Trust.
Trust. They broke their contracts to themselves, too, right?
Yeah.
Are you ever going to use drugs?
No.
Why?
Definitely not.
Ooh, look how serious she is. I love that. Why not?
Because it can damage you. Like, why spend your money and, do something that's going to damage you when you can spend your money on going to Disney World, Disneyland, or, yeah.
That's an amazing answer. And here's the other thing is we have one body. We don't have two. We have one shot at what you call life. And if we make horrible mistakes, bad things happen. And when you go to the doctor, you say, how did this happen? And he said, it says it on the box. It's pretty frightening stuff. But anyway, so somebody lit up, and they said, okay, I'll take a hit. They took their first hit. And you know what? Drugs make you feel good. Let's not lie about it. In fact, they make you feel amazing at first. But they turn on you soon after that. So you smoke a little bit of marijuana, I'll never use hard drugs, and you mean it. All the other drugs are called drugs of opportunity. Means now you're 14, you go to a party, somebody says you want some, you take a little bit of pot, you have a little bit of alcohol, and before you know it, you want to try this? Oh no, have another drink. Oh, why not? Your guard gets down, and before you know it, you use something that, how many times, Mike, you know the answer to this, how many times you got to use crystal meth or some kind of opiates to get addicted, emotionally addicted?
Right. Once.
Because it messes with the part of your brain that gives you pleasure, that makes you feel so good, that you can't think about anything else but, oh, I love this. This is wonderful. How could anyone say this is bad? So you follow what happens, Amanda? How if you start one time, that's how it gets so bad. And at 11 years old, and you're going to be 12, and you're going to go into junior high school, right?
Yep.
Or middle school. That's really cool. And what's going to happen there is a lot of people are going to be offering you a lot of stuff. That's when you get bombarded with stuff. So when somebody says, "Hey, Amanda, you want to come over? Hey, you want to smoke some weed?" What are you going to say?
No.
Good answer.
Michael, she's great.
Good answer. Oh, she's
She is
fabulous.
really great.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, really, really
Give
you
her
are.
a round of applause.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Nope.
That was good. Okay,
Yeah.
but what a great.
Now wait a minute. If you ask her parents if she would ever say, "That's it, I'm through talking,"
Oh, well,
what do you think they're going to say? Huh?
Yeah,
They're not
but-
going to say what she
But
just
what you said at 11 is probably better than I could have said now, because you're right there at that age where you got to say, when kids are born and they're young, we try to hardwire them, right, to make good choices. Right now you're hardwired. You know in your head drugs are bad. They could kill you. They can make good people do bad things and all that stuff. So there's no way you want to do it. As you get a little bit older, people are going to try to convince you that's not true. It is true. Drugs are bad. And they make you do horrible things. And I can go on and on and on forever, but that's not what I want to do right now. What I do want to do right now is say that we are talking about marijuana. And is it the gateway drug? I don't know. It's a primary drug to me. You know, when people call and try to put their sons, husbands, wives, daughters in my treatment centers and they're only smoking pot. It's very emotionally addictive and somewhat physically addictive too. Meaning,
And the reason that we have Janine here is because every year the city of Santa Clarita hosts a hard-hitting drug awareness program and resource fair. That's very important to mention for teens and their parents. And this year's program is entitled The Immature Teen Brain on Pot. And it begins at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, August 26th at the Santa Clarita Activity Center. Janine, are you planning on being there?
Yes, I am. I encourage everyone to be there, adults as well as teens, to attend. It'll be very informative.
so tell us a little about you and what you do so the audience knows who you are.
I'm a human services administrator for the city of Santa Clarita. My areas of responsibility are I oversee the youth and family programs, the anti-drug program, which is our drug-free youth in town Defy program through the Heart District in Cass State.
Those are the kind of programs that are going to make a difference. We're never going to take drugs away. They've been here since the beginning of time. They're going to be here to the end of time. What we can do, though, is we can beat up the need. And those programs that you bring here, like Defy and stuff, we're going to do that.
Yes, we are.
Mike, you were saying something?
No, I wasn't. I was just letting you know we had a minute until break time. I confused you. I didn't help you at all, did I?
No, that's just fine. But really, because the more we educate, the more people have knowledge, the better choices people can make. And here's what's scary, and this is something that we need to get out to, I know it's not happening in your house, but this is what happens in most homes, especially today. If there's a mom and dad even living together, we're in California, divorce capital of the world. But if there's a mom and dad living together, both usually at work. So little Amanda, I'm just going to use your name,
Okay.
and because I like when you smile, you're very pretty.
Thank you.
And so little Amanda goes to school, comes home. She's hanging out with all her friends at school, comes home, and in most homes there's nobody there anymore, right? That's not true. Everybody's there, right through their phones. True? Let me not close it in 1 second. But so the first thing that a kid does when they wake up in the morning, I don't know about 11, but they know as soon as they get older, the first thing they do is check their what?
Cell phone.
Social media. Is that
She's
right?
shaking her head. She may be
Yeah.
doing that.
First thing they do before they go to the bathroom.
But she can tell your dad does the same thing.
What
so.
is the last thing you do before you go to sleep? Right before you go to sleep.
I listen to a Relaxation CD
Awesome.
when I'm at home, but
Very cool. You know what happens with kids when they get a little bit older? Very last thing they do? Check their social media. And the reason I'm going is because the average, Janine, you can listen to this one. This is scary. Statistics show that the parents of kids today spend between 2 and 10 minutes a day with their children. How is your day? Good. You look surprised. Really, this is true. How was your day? It was good. How was school? It was okay. You have any homework? I done it. Are you hungry? I ate. They go right back to their bedrooms and they're on social media again. And we want to know why so many kids are getting high. there's 3 types of kids, and I'm going to tell you those 3 when we come back. There's 3 categories of children, and I want to talk about those categories when we come back. This is Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Welcome back to Families in Action right here on AM 1220 KHTS, your hometown station, with your host, Cary Quashen. I'm your co-host, Mike Doherty, and today we're with Janine Pretto from the city, and we're talking about...
Not Prada.
Prado. We're with
gotta mess
Janine.
with you, okay?
We're with Janine. August 26th is a symposium, and she's going to be talking about that little more, the immature teen brain on pot. But Cary,
Hey.
what's going on?
So there's 3, we were talking about gateway drugs and stuff, so there's 3 categories of children. And we were also talking about the lack of parental involvement today. I mean, go to a restaurant. Walk from your table to the restroom and look at the tables. Everyone's on their phones. Even the moms and dads, they're checking their social media. I mean, it's really pretty disgusting. And I was guilty of that, but I'll tell you what, I make it a complete effort now. And when I'm with my kids, I'm with my kids.
I think that's sad. I really do. I look around and I see that too, and they're missing out.
They're missing out. But here's what's scary. There's 3 categories of children, okay? First category, no matter what kind of a mom you are or dad you are, your kids are high-risk kids. They're going to do whatever they want to do, period, no matter what you do. So those are the kind of, and that's the minority of groups. So those are ones you really just got to maintain as good as you can, and and just stay on them. The next group of kids, no matter what kind of mom or dad you are, they're level-headed kids. They're going to make good choices like Amanda. They know what they want in life, and they're not going to get deterred. And when somebody says, do you want one of these cigarettes, they're going to go, no. And if their friends start using drugs, they're going to leave that group of friends and find another group because they're level-headed kids. So that's the majority of children. Actually, that's not. This is the next one is. The third category of children is what you call the fence sitters. Meaning what? If you spend a lot of time with family and you're doing a lot of positive stuff and you have positive peer influences, you're going to do wonderful. But if there's not a lot, if there's not a lot of parental involvement and you're not really tied in with anyone specific, you fall into that other trap now. I'm going to do what everyone else does. I want to fit in so bad. And you start running with people and the cigarettes come and you take a hit, then you smoke a little pot and then you're drinking and oh boy, what a crisis. That is most of the children. And what makes that so frightening is we got them for 2 minutes a day. How was your day? Good. How was school? Cool. How was you having your homework done it? Are you hungry? I ate. Right back to their bedrooms on social media with their buddies the next day. All of a sudden we find out we're in major crisis with drugs and all kinds of other stuff. Parents, you have to spend time with your kids.
And they have to be at this symposium. This is going to be an eye-opener. This is going to really answer a lot of questions for them. Janine, if
you know why they have to be there, though?
Why is that?
Why? Because, and we could talk about this real quickly. I'm going to tell you why I think it's so important, is parents don't get it.
No.
It's only pot. They don't get it.
Exactly.
Why did you, I mean, you're wonderful. I love everything you do. I mean, you're like one of those heroes here in Santa Clarita. But where'd you come up with that great topic?
Actually, Gil Morgan, our communications director, did that.
Gail did that?
Yes, she did.
Very
Good
good.
job,
Yes,
Gail.
she does. And I think it was really looking at that young person to catch an audience that would go, what happens when a young person does pop? What does that look like at an immature state?
Right. Well, I could sure tell you what happens when they, I don't even want to go there. The younger, and again, the younger they are, even the harder it is. And you know where these young kids get it? The 12-year-olds? Bet you know, can you all guess where they get it? In their parents' bedroom. I see the heads going. In their parents' bedroom. That's where they get it. With their friends. When they want to sleep out. Those are the kind of places we get it. So here's another thing that kind of gets me irritated. I hear so many parents, kids telling me, well, my mom does it. My dad does it. And then I hear the mom and dad say, I don't want my kids using drugs. Well, then be an example. Be a role model. Be what you want for your kid. Be the role model for, we used to have heroes all the time, right? Watch TV, there were heroes. Now every time you got a hero, they're going in and out of rehab.
Yeah.
So we need to become what we want. Do what I say, not what I do does not work.
Then-
If you don't want your kid to drink, don't drink. If you don't want your kid to smoke weed, don't smoke weed. If I want to know what's going on in your homes, I'll ask your younger kids. They know everything you're doing. So, I'm sorry, butted right into the middle of the symposium, and
that's okay.
But I get passionate about this
do.
stuff, you know,
You do.
especially
we can
pot.
Tell. We can tell, Cary. One of the things I wanted to ask Janine was, somebody out there listening right now that's saying, okay, you're doing this thing on August 26th, but what's going to happen? What happens when they walk in?
When they walk in, we're this year going to have actually local artists that are actually displaying their artwork
Cool.
from their interpretation of drugs. Very interesting. We have several great art pieces to start. After that, they'll attend a resource fair. We have a variety of local resources, including Action, that'll be there.
When you say variety, that's an understatement. There are a lot of people. I mean, people can walk away with bring a bag with you. Bring a bag with you because you're going to have a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And it's, some of that information is for intervention, prevention, just treatment. It'll be a variety of things for anyone that needs help. And beyond that, we will go on to our panel presentation, which again, Cary will be on. We have local experts, and we're also going to have our captain.
Cary's going to be on the panel?
Yes, Cary's going to panel.
He doesn't know anything about
What are you
marijuana,
talking
does he?
That's kind of funny because I was supposed to be at a panel in some other city, and somebody called me and told me, we just saw your name in the newspaper, and I had no idea. That's how I found out. So it's like,
okay.
I'm glad, thank you.
Well, she just
It's
told
funny.
you right here on radio.
Yes,
Can I say something real quick?
absolutely.
Okay, so what I'm trying to make a point is, can I say something about marijuana?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you type in like S on YouTube and you look at the things that people have been mostly searching, one of them is some Snoop Dogg song called Smoke Weed Every Day.
Yeah.
And it's a silly title, but some kids that are like, you know, don't listen to their parents and stuff, listen to Snoop Dogg, and they'll get kind of,
Yeah.
they'll want to be like Snoop Dogg.
Now, see, that's what I was talking about earlier, about lack of parental involvement, and then they end up watching that kind of stuff. You are so right, and I believe that as celebrities, we got to really become role models for our children, and for the population's children. When somebody like that gets on TV or radio and says, smoke weed every day, these young kids, you're right, it leaves an impression, and it messes with their heads. And it makes it even easier for them to make bad decisions.
And
That was really, really good. Thank you, Amanda. This is Families in Action on our hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.